Okay, cool. Hello, COG and everybody out there. Welcome to the COGCast. This is episode 3. I'm your host, COG Dregs, and I am here with the lovely Blackwind, Burnz, Integrity, and War.
Hi guys.
Is Blackwind the only one of us that's lovely, or like?
Yes,
Obviously, Lord, get with the program.
she's a girl.
I'm fucking charming.
That's
so
okay.
There you go.
Miller couldn't be here tonight. He's got graduation tomorrow, so he's got some stuff to prepare for.
he's about to become a real boy.
Wait, so does it mean
Yeah.
he'll be able to make these sessions later?
Yeah, we're going into the summer now.
Yeah, but
All right.
he still doesn't like staying up too late.
All right.
He's a sleepyhead.
Before we munch down into this COGCast, two things. I'd like to congratulate Burnz on winning chairman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, buddy.
And COG RJ for getting General of Mercy this week.
Right?
So,
Yeah,
see
big
them
shout
in
out
the
to
parties.
RJ.
Give them
He's done a lot of
congrats.
work.
There's been a lot of shit going down in Mercy this week. It's been great.
Right?
So yeah, if you guys want to join Overwatch, hit us up. We'll get you in the Mercy Club. Now, moving forward, 90's gaming. So, I mean,
So,
you remember the 90's.
I feel like it's unfair for me
Right.
because honestly speaking, I can only pick up controller when I'm like what, 8, 7, 8. So that's like when it's like 1998, right? No,
That's fine.
8 or 9. Yeah,
That's 90's.
I know. That's why
Yeah.
all the games I do play, if it's in the 90s, are like StarCraft. Anything that's over like 1997.
That's fine. It's still 90's.
Okay.
So, hopefully, all of you
Let me
will live
guess.
through
Dregs,
it.
you were a fan of Doom?
Wait, is it the 90s?
Wow.
I thought it was like the 80s. I have no clue.
Doom 2 was 1992, I believe.
Jesus, graphics advanced so fast in the 90s.
It's because we
But-
found alien technology, which is time for that's a topic for another podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Next podcast.
Good.
War will teach us all about alien technology. But reminiscing, I'd like to hear about everybody's favorite titles from the 90's. One of mine, personal favorites, was Twisted Metal 2. So, Blackwind.
Wait, what's it called?
I
Twisted
didn't game
Metal.
in the 90s because I was like 6. So,
It was called Twisted Metal 2.
Oh, Twisted Metal. Okay.
Basically, it was a car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. it
You
was a
guys
car
haven't
game.
heard of
It was
Twisted
for-
Metal?
No, we heard of it. I've heard of
I've
it.
heard of it.
Okay, if I recall, it's
Yeah.
basically a bunch of clowns in like literal clowns in ice cream trucks
There is
killing
one
each other.
clown. There is one clown.
Okay, one clown. Okay, fine.
Thank you, War.
Get that shit right, first of all. And his name is Sweet Tooth.
I'm just saying I
Thank
haven't
you,
heard of
War.
it. I'm just saying I've heard of it. Like back when I had a PlayStation, it was my dad who got me to PlayStation. Well, got my sister to PlayStation, and all the games he bought were fake. Like it was one of those modified PlayStations, and I didn't know that it existed. And all the names of the games on the CDs were like in Chinese, so I have no clue what the hell they're talking about. Or it was like Twisted, not the full Twisted.
You
Metal,
always
just
have these
Twisted.
fucking crazy stories about video games overseas where it's like the Wild West. Like, I mean, you're out there like, I didn't know how to crouch in Halo for a year. It was insane.
Oh my god, you try reading Japanese. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god.
God damn it, Integrity. Every podcast is going to end up with some crazy story from Integrity.
Oh god. Oh. Okay.
Anyways, what about Burnsy?
Oh, I was a big fan of some RPGs in in the 90s. Final Fantasy 3 or 6. It was released as 3 in America on Super Nintendo. Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana. Those 3 games I cannot really pick. Secret of Mana a little less. Earthbound was also really good. I was a big fan of Super Nintendo during that era. So a lot of games that came out during that time on that console, I played the hell out of.
Nice.
Didn't like some Street Fighter games come out during the 90s? Wouldn't that have been up your alley?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are up my alley too. They're just like the definitive like overall favorite video game. Like my favorite video game of all time is Final Fantasy VI. Like it would be hard for me to. It's just one of my favorite video games. The storyline, the character development, the art, the music, the everything about it was just defining for me. It defined a lot for me.
Well, okay, I'll take over here for a minute. Like, look, if we're going to talk about 90s games, there's a few here that we cannot leave out.
Go for
GoldenEye?
it.
Anybody?
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
GoldenEye?
GoldenEye.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. We wouldn't be playing what we were playing today if it wasn't for, arguably for that game. And by the way, has anyone ever made a movie like adaptation that was, that good ever again? Or is that the only one to ever do it? When was it really only done in 1997?
I think that's really the only one I can ever think of.
And then they remade GoldenEye, and it was so terribly bad. And then, I mean, also in the same vein, it came out really late 90s, but Super Smash Bros. Melee came out in 99.
No, Super Smash Bros. I just looked it up just now because I was trying to find the game. Melee came out in 2001 or 2, but then the first one.
Excuse me, Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Not Melee. Yeah. But the first one, yeah. And then I
have a
would
game
also put Ocarina of
I
Time
could name drop.
in there, right?
I was just gonna drop.
I wasn't a
Ocarina
big
of
fan
Time.
of Ocarina of Time.
Sorry, buddy. I'll give you that one.
I don't know
I'll toss it over to
how.
you,
I don't know.
Burnzy. Back in your
I was
court.
gonna say that was 90. That was 98, and that was probably one of the best video games
Of
to
all
have
time?
come out. Not well, it's on the list of all time, but I mean, it was defining for that console. And then that, because of that game and where we were going with video games, I feel like that how successful Nintendo was alone with that game set the stage for where we're at now in video gaming. A lot of companies looked at that and wanted to challenge that success, and that's why I think we see a lot of these games that have come out and inspired everybody, and then you see these gaming companies now like Xbox and the way PlayStation is now, and things like that, and that's where their success ideas came from. I feel like
the thing
inspiration.
is, I did try to play Ocarina of Time like half a year ago on my 3DS because they ported it over. I don't know, maybe the graphics, maybe
Did
just...
you get lost in the languages again?
No, yeah, totally, yeah. I couldn't get into it. I think it's a lot of people bought the remaster, sorry, maybe for like the nostalgia, but I don't think I can't get into it, like the Ocarina of Time on my 3DS. But I do really enjoy Breath of the Wild, which is the new Switch, Zelda Switch, which is amazing.
I have heard. I have a couple buddies who's got it. I actually have a friend who left his Switch in my house with Breath of the Wild for like a couple weeks, and I'm gonna, test into it here in a little bit. But I'm also looking at other games from the 90s. This is another big game today, and I remember, if any of you guys had a PlayStation 1, do you guys remember when betas used to come out, they would give you like a disc, and you could go get like Xbox Magazine, and it would have like a disc in there for a beta, and you're like, oh, I got the beta for this game, I'm so excited. I miss those moments, man. But one of the betas that I had for so long, and I was too young for it, but I got the beta somehow, was Metal Gear Solid in 1998 for my PlayStation. And the first installment in that series came out in 1987, and then another one in 1990, and then the Metal Gear Solid that I'm thinking of came out in 1998. I mean, so there are some huge huge series established in the 90s. I mean, Halo didn't miss by very much. Halo started in 2001.
Okay, so
Fun.
is it my turn? No, Burnz
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
it. Okay, sure. I think my favorite 90s game is probably StarCraft. Like, no other game that I spent so freaking long on StarCraft. And it's not even the core game of StarCraft. It's mostly just use map settings, like the turret defense, the RPGs, the sunken defenses. Like, I spent so freaking long. I remember it was like a Hamtaro Bound or something, where you basically try to like get through an obstacle course. Which my brother would spend like 3 hours in the same lobby with the same random people trying to get through every single level. I'm pretty sure Burnz had the same similar experience.
Yeah, I loved StarCraft. I played the hell out of that game. My buddies and I made maps and missions and all kinds of cool stuff. It was a good time. Similar game to that at that time that we were doing weird stuff like editing and rechanging the voice lines for the game. Was Worms. I don't know if anybody remembers that. But like Worms, I think it was like Worms Armageddon
yes, I
or something.
do.
Yeah.
I do remember that one.
And the AI like
We used to
OP.
redo
game
all the
was
voice
fun.
lines. We'd customize all the voice lines for the game, so we'd be just doing random quotes from movies and just weird shit that we'd say. It was hilarious.
Wow, Worms. That takes me back too.
Was
Man, I thought this was going to be a hard topic, and then all of a sudden, all these titles just start flowing.
was
And I mean, like, I can't ignore also,
Right?
like, my first introduction to gaming was on the Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Pocket, the little green, black, and white one before then. Pretty sure it was the first iteration of the Game Boy in America. I could be mistaken.
yeah. It is,
And I had
probably.
this Star Wars game, and I couldn't beat it. I walked around on this weird version of Tatooine, getting killed by sand people all every day for all my days, and then I got Pokemon, and my life changed. And it was just an amazing game, and I beat the crap out of it, and I beat the crap out of every single version following it. And I know that goes into the 2000s, but Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Yellow, oh my god, it was so much fun.
Okay.
Getting involved in that scene.
I have a story for that. So Game Boys in my family household was bad for you.
Was it the only console that you could understand?
No. What? No. Because okay, my sister was way more in the scene, like just everything, like music, games, TV shows, whatever. So she got a Game Boy, she got Pokemon, and she played with it. And I wasn't allowed to play with it because in Pokemon you can't make a new game. But there was one time when we were at
That's still the biggest bullshit I've ever heard.
what? Oh right, yeah, no.
You still can't do
Yeah,
that.
still can't do that. Yeah. But basically, we were in a mall, and then she let me play with it a little bit. I was like, I don't know, like 7 or something. I don't remember. But basically, it was Pokemon Red. I played with it in a mall, and then it was like dinner time, so went back to the restaurant. After like an hour or two there, I realized that I did not have the Game Boy, and I realized I left it at the seat on where I was sitting and playing, and I completely lost her Game Boy and all her saves. And I still can't believe I remember that shit. Like now thinking back, I would have. Oh my god, I would have cried, like raged so hard if like it was my game. But 5 years later, I got my own Pokemon Crystal, and I still have it, and I love the shit out of it.
I remember the
Nice.
first Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Yellow, and I destroyed it, and then went and beat the other ones, and then I was like, meh.
I think
That
you
was
mean
my
like
Pokemon adventures.
I think he like physically destroyed it.
It was a little old for you.
No,
You were a little
Yeah, I
old
was-
for Pokemon.
I was a little old for it, but I just played through it. It was like, my brother was into it. It was really
For
big
those
with
of you who
my
don't know,
brother's
listening to
generation.
the COGCast, Burnz is the resident old man.
Yeah, he is.
Not that much older. Than
Don't worry, we respect our elders.
God, you guys are aging me as I speak.
Oh man, I remember playing the shit out of Pokemon Blue. I remember that was my first Pokemon game, but
I
unfortunately,
remember. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know if you guys remember this, the Cinnabar Island glitch,
Yeah.
I
Missing
do.
no?
Yep, I
Yeah.
do.
where you can get infinite Master Balls or infinite rare candies.
Or rare candies. Yeah.
My cousin actually caught Missing O,
Is that actually
or whatever
wow.
the hell it's called.
Well, wasn't that hard,
It
actually?
actually completely ruined my game. You can't even start a new game.
Yeah,
on
it would.
So didn't Smash Brothers come out at the end of the 90s?
Yeah, we already said that.
Yes.
Yeah, we said
Yeah,
Smash
yeah.
Brothers 97
That's
or 98,
a-
99, something like that.
Yeah, that's a really good franchise for
I know.
like in relation to Pokemon 2. That was like really fun for me to be able to play as like Pikachu and teleport around and shock people, and then all the other characters as well. But it was the first time really I felt like I got to experience Pokemon outside of the traditional standard game that you're kind of trapped into playing.
Yeah, like the first time I
Yeah.
experienced Super Smash, I couldn't wrap my head around having like Mario and Pikachu and like this this pink ball. Kirby. Yeah, no, back
Kirby.
then I didn't know what Kirby was. Because like Hong Kong wasn't really
Right.
like a...
Kirby Tilt and Tumble.
Yeah, Hong Kong wasn't really like a Nintendo country, surprisingly. It was more like a PlayStation
Yeah.
country. So I had no idea what the Nintendo was. I didn't know what... I knew what Pokemon was because it was so big. But I didn't really know what like the stuff Nintendo had. So like this idea of having 3 characters, I'm like, how does that happen? How? Because I thought like there were 3 separate things. How do they all come together and start fighting? And then I got so addicted, insanely addicted to it. It was amazing.
Right. Yep. That game
Metal
was
Mario.
life altering.
I made Kirby.
Going across that brick wall.
I can't remember when the first Mario Party came out, but I'm excited for the new one on the Switch. When the Switch gets a few more games, I'm going to be buying it.
It's totally worth it.
I know Mario Kart's coming out.
Oh, it's already out.
Yeah, it's already out. And then I when they get like a new Smash Bros. And then they get some other stuff on there that interests me, I'm going to be getting a Switch. Plus, with a kid on the way, I mean, Nintendo's the way to go.
But get ready for the expensive accessory. Like having extra controller, having extra controllers are like $70.
Yeah, that's like $60 for Xbox though. It's not that big of a difference.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Anyways,
Yeah.
back on track.
Eat those apples.
Going from Nintendo to PlayStation, one of the games I remember from PlayStation was I don't know if any of you know this, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Yay. Nay.
Is that like? I didn't play that one, but is that the Castlevania series that's like still kind of going today that I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
No, I didn't play it on the PlayStation.
Dude, you need to check it out. It's actually really good. Like it was
You know, I appreciate
Besides-
your opinion, but I'm not gonna go check out any game that you tell me to go check out on the PlayStation at this point in time. Like,
you can actually get it on Xbox, but
dude, but back to kind of what we mentioned earlier. I think out of all my PlayStation games, what I had the most fun playing with my friends, and I think played the most, and one was actually one of the first games that, you know, for a kid got good at, was Twisted Metal. The first Twisted Metal was so much fun.
yeah.
I was something snake related. I want to say Viper was the character that I always was.
Yeah,
I could be
Viper.
wrong. Viper. It's like a little dune buggy car.
Yeah.
That car was amazing. And dude, Spyro on
Oh my god,
PlayStation.
Spyro.
So much fun.
Oh my god.
And I know
Yeah, the
everyone's
original
gonna go crazy
Spyro,
over
oh my
Crash
gosh.
Bandicoot and stuff,
Oh my
but
God.
I wasn't too huge on Crash Bandicoot. But Spyro and Twisted Metal, heck yes. And Frogger!
I did play
Oh,
a Spyro
Frogger.
game on the GameCube. I remember. I don't know which one.
That's not 90's, Blackwind.
Me, I
See-
figured. I was.
Well, if you really want
I
to
don't
breach the
remember anything.
90s, old man here could bring up some of his ancient video games he used to play
it.
before you guys were even born.
SimCity.
Okay, fuck that. A Sim Ant. Yo, how about that? No, Faxanadu for the regular Nintendo was probably one of the
That
first
doesn't even sound like a
RPG.
game.
It is a game. It's probably one of the first like RPG style games they released on consoles. It was really hard, and even to today, there's still this part in this game that I can get up to. I special ordered it a few years ago, and I played it, and it actually special ordered 2 editions of it, one to play and one for packaging. I still can't get past this one part. It's just like this thing in this game that eluded me. I'm like thinking of it now. I know that's a past topic from one of our previous ones, but it's coming up now. Faxanadu. This really, really old game. And just any of the like Mario 3. I'm sorry, Mario 3 was one of the best video games ever. It was so fun, and it was just so classic. And there's nothing. Most of the Mario games, Mario 2, Mario 3. Those things are really classic for 80s kids, and I'm an 80s kid. So, I don't know. It's interesting. That I liked the 90s. I'm just glad I grew up on some of the games I did, because you guys are naming these games, and from like an older perspective, I didn't like Spyro. I thought Crash Bandicoot was stupid. I wasn't 5 then. It didn't entertain me, and I still don't like Pokemon the same way. Not to become like a villain, but I don't think those games were bad games. It was just that like for me, the games that I grew up on felt more challenging or more fulfilling to me personally. And then like as I got older, it's interesting for me to be able to listen to you guys relate to the games and then look back and think about. I was like, well, I hated those games then, and like I'm hearing them talk about it, and I'm like kind of jealous that they enjoyed it.
That's kind of true though. Like
You didn't care for GoldenEye?
Oh, I liked GoldenEye. Don't get me wrong. That stuff was good, but like some of the other games that you guys were just talking about, the little kiddie kind of games, like
Well, that makes
those games
sense.
just
I mean, you wouldn't have any interest in Spyro or Crash Bandicoot.
They were
Yeah.
boring, repetitive
That
stuff,
makes
and like,
sense.
but even like Twisted Metal, like I thought that shit was stupid. I hate Metal Gear Solid, and I've never liked a Metal Gear Solid. The last one that came out, the one that was super good graphics, that one confused or like tricked me. I was like, what is this? Like some type of new Red Dead Redemption or something? And then they're like, Metal Gear Solid. And I was like, oh, well, that actually looks kind of good for once. Like, I might give that franchise a chance at some point, but up until now, I haven't liked a single installation.
I've never played one either. I just knew, like I said, I spent so much time on that demo as a kid.
Right.
It was like, to me, it was like a game that was too hard for me, but like it was just so awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
for me to figure something out in that game took like days, and so the demo now would probably take me, I don't know, 25 minutes to smash through, maybe. But it was just it was such a fun game, hiding under the boxes, sneaking around. As a kid, it was like, what is this? Oh, it was great.
But yeah, you're right though. Like the earlier games are way harder and challenging than like the games now. Even like that's why
It's because
I've
earlier
beaten
games,
Super
there
Contra.
was- Okay,
I've
earlier games,
physically
the
beaten Super Contra.
The
Sit
first
down.
games that came out, like, it's not okay. They're not hard. It's just the same thing over and over again, faster and faster until you can't do it.
because the thing is like back
That's pretty much what the first iteration of video games are,
Like-
and it's impossible. It doesn't take skill. It takes like robotness. Like
because like back then
terrible
they,
word for it.
I mean, they still haven't exactly like gotten how to make a game down to a science. There's no book for it, so they still have to like research on like what people like and how to make good games. And now it's kind of like over the top, one press of a button and you play
Well-
the game kind of thing, which is a little bit problematic.
Also, before, and I'm just gonna name drop it, Final Fantasy VII. Most games that kids, especially that around my age and younger, were like exposed to, didn't have graphics as much. So a lot of game companies relied heavily on the writers and these stories and development and things like that, which is why I say Final Fantasy, if you want a really good storyline with really good character development and things like that, excellent writing, go play Final Fantasy 6/3 or whatever console you can get your hands on it. It's amazing. And back then they had to rely more on better storytelling because they didn't have the gimmicks of the flashy graphics and all the waifus and the freaking, anime chicks bouncing around and all the explosions and the graphics and the guns, and they didn't have that then.
Well, as far as I know, isn't Final Fantasy usually the more graphically advanced for their time?
I mean, yeah, and even the one that I'm
7
mentioning
was.
then, the Final Fantasy VI before 7, before they went all, amazing, 3D or whatever that blew everyone's mind, that was all done by, I hope I don't butcher the name, Yoshitaka Amano. He's a Japanese watercolor master. He handed all of the pixel art, I'm pretty sure he did all of the pixel art for that game. And it's like backgrounds, characters, all that stuff, and all of the amazing Final Fantasy art that you see in like guides with like the cool Japanese watercolor, like really extensive hand-done art. That's usually him. And like, I follow that artist because of that video game, and like it just opened me up to a whole bunch of different stuff. And then so looking at like where we're at now, where I feel like games are easily sold to kids based on just how cool or flashy the graphics are, and if it's a really big title, then every kid has to have the next, said title, even though the graphics might not be the best and the storyline might be non-existent.
That's why I really respect Dark Souls. Like, the game is so freaking hard that they go back to their grassroots. Like, I don't play it, but like,
right.
It's,
I haven't played much.
They don't hold
too much of it.
they don't hold the player's hands along the way. They're just like, yo, here's a bad guy, kill it with whatever skills that you picked up. Not because you use points to level up your character, but you yourself, your own skills to kill it.
Right.
Yeah, Dark Souls hasn't been for me either. But I do know some people in the community who love it.
Yeah, I respect the game
I'm one of
franchise
them.
and what it is, and I've seen a bunch of gameplay. I've only played very little of it, and it looks very challenging. I remember running through like the very first Mario game, right? And that game was super
That
freaking
game
hard.
pissed me off.
But
Yeah.
you can literally run straight through the entire game. If you keep speeding and you keep speed running through that game and you just kind of instinctively kind of pick up on it and or start to memorize all these little maps that you go through. I mean, trial and error is a huge part of that game. And this is before we had saves, guys. This is back when you'd spend like
Yes.
8 hours into a video game and then you'd screw up and all of that meant nothing and now you start over again. Like from the very beginning.
I remember when I first got my PlayStation and I didn't have a memory card, and I might be forgetting the name here, but it was an amazing game, and I think it was called Ape Escape
Yes.
on the PlayStation.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, this game was amazing. You had to like maneuver your way around these environments and recover all these apes that had escaped. Surprise. But I didn't have a memory card, so I had to like leave my PlayStation on for like a month before I was able to get a memory card and save it. And I racked up this absurd power bill, and my mom almost neutered me. But I couldn't save.
Totally
I
worth
wasn't
it.
it was
Totally
I
worth
regret
it.
nothing.
Right. Now, dude, worse. Okay, there's this game for I think PlayStation 2. It's one of my favorite fighting games of all time, Guilty Gear X or Guilty Gear X2 or something like that. To unlock like some of the characters, you had to have the game on for 300 hours consecutive or something crazy like that. So
What?
a lot of people's consoles got fried. I did it. I got away with it. Me and my sister at the time freaking just destroyed that game. Got every achievement, got every skin, got everything out of that game that we could get out of it. All the gold versions of it were really freaking good at the game. But left my console on for that. It was like 6 days or something.
How many
I had to leave
hours?
it on for. It was like 300 hours.
is
I have to
more
look
than
it up.
6
I have to
days.
look it up.
72 hours is like 4 days.
It's some type. Yeah, it's some type of an unlock for getting justice in Guilty Gear X2. It's like a 300-hour like unlock. So you had to leave it on for a long time.
It shouldn't
was
be
ridiculous.
that.
Dude, I bet you
A lot of
gaming
people's
companies
consoles
could be
got
fined
fried.
for doing something like that now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can believe it's not that. I mean, nowadays it's pretty easy, but I have like left my PS1 on for like a week once by accident. But that was like 7 days.
Right.
But
I don't think that's a week is even 300 hours.
a week. No, not yet. But I'm like saying like if it lasts for a week, that's like what, half, like more, a little bit more than half. I can't math right now. It's 168.
It's
168.
too late.
Yeah, like half.
I get it.
So it's a little more than half.
It's a little
You
more
had to
than
leave it
half.
on for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
You get that achievement.
Damn.
That's crazy. Were you like protecting it? Did you guys have like rotating shifts to protect it?
What?
And like, how did you guys ensure that it stayed on? I mean, if I was that committed, I mean that's like nowadays that's an achievement.
first
So if I
time-
was going for
What
that
is it?
achievement,
Okay, I'm
I would
looking
have
it up right
armed
now.
guards around my Xbox.
Okay, it's not even that. It's not even the 300 hours thing. It's you have to. Okay, after 50 hours of gameplay, you will unlock. Start getting unlocks every 2 hours. 2 hours after Justice unlocks via the release mode. 2 hours. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, you have to do for 50 hours for that. But at the same time, to get the other a lot of the other unlocks in the game, you had to beat a survival mode up to like level 300. Which is insane to do anyways, and we did that as well. I don't know, that game just had a lot of huge time release unlocks, and then like high skill cap unlocks. It was one of my favorite games. Guilty Gear X2.
I hate
And I thought Heart of Darkness was
time-related
bad.
Like, what was it that there's a couple like there's an achievement in I think it's Arkham City where you have to go into this certain room on every holiday of the year, and it's for like
Yeah.
the calendar man and for a villain in Arkham City. And so like you can cheese it, you can set the dates and stuff on your Xbox, but that takes a lot of a hell of a lot of time, right? And it's just like I hate those achievements. And then there was another one like that for Halo too, in MCC to go to like the remake of Valhalla and
Oh, yeah, I
on the
remember that
wall, and there's a new matches on every at different holidays and stuff. Those achievements are cancer. If a game developer, you are listening to this, and you've made one, please go outside and stand in traffic for as long as you can.
Don't say that.
There you go.
Don't say that. Just
Those
say
are
please don't do that
words
ever
from,
again.
War to game developers.
Be kinder to the people that you are trying to, lock out of your game content. How about that?
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant.
Oh yeah, well in Halo 3, I got my katana without ever beating it on Legendary. Ha! Eat it.
Yeah, me neither.
I've beaten every Halo on Legendary, so I mean that sucks.
No,
But
I'm just saying I got it before I beat it on Legendary.
oh,
My friends were like, "You're a freaking cheater." Everyone's like, "You're a cheater." And I'm like, "I'm not cheating. I just have a katana." Don't ask me how.
did they have the energy? Yeah, they.
I
Have
think that
energy
happened to
sword.
me
Yeah, that's
either
correct.
way.
They have the energy sword in Halo 2. Retard moment. Anyway, I don't know if I can talk about 90's game anymore. It's because I think I've ran out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much ran out of ideas too.
But
Anyways,
I do have something that I want to go over because it's kind of been in the news this week, and I think it's just really interesting. A, because I love the franchise, and the franchise has been around for a while. I mean, I don't think we're definitely not talking 90s, but the first installation of Far Cry was, early 2000s. And then, there was Far Cry 2, and then Far Cry 3 was the game changer where it created this whole open world environment. And then there's Far Cry 4, and now we're up to the game being released early February next year, or mid-February next year, early next year, Far Cry 5. And it has garnered a lot of controversy. I personally think that this game looks amazing, and I totally support everything that all the symbolism that they may or may not be trying to go for, because I think it's quite honestly an adequate representation of America to some degree in some parts. I don't think there's cults running amok killing people, but the idea that people are um, so blindly consume and so blindly get their information from tidbit-sized tweets as opposed to credible sources could lead to like this crazy offbeat Christian society straight out of Kingsman. It's gotten a lot of people really angry, and with a lot of religious groups advocating that the game not be released. And the main point of here's the real bitch of the article, in my opinion, is that not the article, but the topic is that all of the topic, most of the suggestions to this, I shit you not, are, well, what if you made the main villain brown or black or Muslim instead of a white supremacist or a white Christian leader? And the other, Far Cry 3, it's a black guy. Far Cry 4, it's an Asian. No one was fine with murdering. Everyone was fine with murdering Asians and African Americans and whatnot in the first two games, but now suddenly we're killing white people, and it's an issue. I don't understand. It's a little absurd to me, and I think that this version of America that they're trying to depict is not only accurate in some cases, but it's too close to home for some people, and I personally totally support it. I think if you have a problem with it,
Don't play it.
Yeah, don't play it. That's simple. Shame you're gonna miss out on a great game and a great series because you're too pretentious and stuck up to be a decent American or what have you, I guess. But it's just kicked up so much controversy. It's crazy.
I don't even like that game series anyways, so I don't really have anything to add on that topic.
Well, I do.
I've never played a Far Cry game, so yeah.
Oh wait, Blackwind's still here.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, War,
Fucking
like,
ding
it's
dong.
interesting. It's interesting because the way I kind of always looked at video games was like a form of art, and art can be a depiction of the way society is, and the way those developers are looking at it. At America is like kind of like they're putting like an extreme case into the game.
It doesn't help, I guess, that it's made by Ubisoft Montreal, so it's not made by an American company. But so what? You know how many times American companies have made depictions of other countries that are severely inaccurate or evil?
Made them look
evil. Exactly. What big deal?
See, at this point, I think it's just the media trying to get ad revenue at this point. Because they did the same thing with Far Cry 4. People were complaining about... They thought it was some white guy killing people. And then one of the lead were like, no, it's Asian. And then everybody started shutting up. So I think it's just media trying to get attention. And this is basically like Outlast 2. It's, a bunch of people in a cult trying to kill other people. And you're trying to escape from this cult in America. So it's...
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about that except for how scary or whatever it is. So I think it's just the media.
But then why is it that the media seems to always have something to say about more so? I mean, it's like Far Cry recently has been picked on to the tenor of like Grand Theft Auto was back in its, back when it was really first hitting the market and games were being accused of causing all these mass shootings and all that, nonsense. I just don't understand why they seem to pick on these games, because to me it's like, what can Ubisoft do to win? You're right. In Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, it was like, oh look, the white man's coming in to save all all the village people, and it's just the stereotypical, Pocahontas type retelling, right? And it's now they switch it up intentionally, deliberately going away from that stereotype, and they still get flack. I mean, I know you can't please anyone or please everybody, but it's like I feel like that franchise gets picked on a lot.
Well, I mean,
Well,
okay. I personally think, again, it's all ad revenue. If everybody was saying how Far Cry 5, oh yeah, it's another generic game, we won't be talking about it right now. What they're getting right now is like free advertisement that we're talking about, like this whole controversial topic. Nobody's gonna click on a link that says, oh yeah, Far Cry 5, another game. They're gonna click on a link that says controversy. Far Cry 5 taken too far. Like really, you know.
Well, no, I understand that, and I totally agree. I mean, what you're saying is there's no such thing as bad press, and to a degree, I believe that that's true. But does that mean that Ubisoft and the Far Cry developing team is pushing that agenda? Why does it happen to them?
But to who? To who?
To Far Cry, to the developers that Ubisoft that develops Far Cry.
I don't know.
I feel like it's kind of as Integrity said. I mean, I think like maybe they just wanted to switch things up, but I also feel like it's the media dramatizing everything. And they usually do. I mean, it was like with Fallout 4 and Doom from Bethesda. Oh, they're too violent. The violence in Doom was like ridiculous, and it is a ridiculously violent game, but it caused a lot of controversy. But at the end of the day, it's going to help Far Cry more because people are like, oh, this game, I want to see what all the controversy is about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
I agree. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. That's my ramble of the week. It's been bothering me. I think the game looks amazing. I have every intent of buying it and playing the shit out of it. I've loved every installment of the series. So I'm looking forward to a good game next February, no matter what the haters say.
yeah, give them the finger by go buying that game.
Right.
So,
speaking of controversies, controversial topic I wanted to talk about next was music.
is there a specific controversial thing in music right now?
Chris
Not
Cornell
so much
died.
controversy. Well, yeah. But the thing I kind of wanted to talk about was these terrorist attacks on these concerts, like the Ariana Grande. Not saying I'm a fan, but
I think what's going on in London right now is it's kind of scary. I mean, they're they're disrupting their way of life over there, and all their civil liberties are being encroached upon, and there's nothing to be gained out of attacking somebody at a concert, stabbing and running over somebody on a bridge. You have nothing to gain. You're a coward. I think it's fortunate. I don't want to say it's fortunate that these attacks are occurring in London because that sounds wrong, but it's fortunate that these attacks are occurring in countries with stricter gun laws. It's just instead they were resulting to knives and to these homemade rickety explosive devices instead of semi-automatic to automatic rifles, and the amount of damage they're able to inflict is minimized. So it's a relief at least that they're that's happening. But it's just saying that people would just go after innocent bystanders at a concert. I mean,
But why do you think that I mean, sorry, Dregs. Why do you think that the tech has anything to do with Ariana Grande instead of because I thought it was just because it was a very
you have
populated
to
area.
honestly think. Yeah, it's a very populated area, and you have to remember venues at concerts because I go to a lot of um, smaller venues, and I'm going to tell you one thing: if they ever hit that a smaller venue, like that would be really bad. Probably everybody in the venue would be dead. Because
Well, look at just that's
it's-
like Pulse nightclub. I mean, essentially.
Yeah,
that's
like,
you know what I'm
it's-
saying. But the thing
it's-
about Ariana Grande is, look, you got to who is Ariana Grande's target audience?
Teens.
It's like
I don't know.
kids and tweens. You know, it's not adults. It's it's the most extreme form of cowardice that you could do, and it is, I guess that's just the way the world is now.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy because I'm getting ready to go to a Warped Tour this summer, and it's a little bit frightening that they're starting to attack concerts.
Well, thankfully you're going to a tour, so not like a one night stand. So hopefully, if there's something, it's not at your stop.
So, Dregs. Okay.
Yeah.
Dregs. What kind of music do you like? You personally?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I'm more of a metalhead, but I'm more into like the industrial and gothic sort of scene in music. My favorite band is Motionless in White.
Have you
So
have you always liked this genre since like you were a kid?
yeah, I mean, going this is like going back to 90s gaming. Actually, one of the first metal bands that I actually got introduced to was Rob Zombie, like back in the 90s. Yeah, I shit you not. On Twisted Metal 3, his music was actually on the game, even though it wasn't a very good Twisted Metal game. But yeah, he had like Super Beast. I forget. He had some White Zombie stuff on there. I remember Pitch Shifter was on there. I kind of like just started like my whole obsession with like metal and industrial metal mostly because of him.
I'm gonna make a very stereotypical, sweeping, judgmental statement about Blackwind. Blackwind, do you like country music?
Yes.
Oh!
I'll fucking kill
She's
you.
from Texas. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I mean, country music not bad. I don't mind listening to it, but not like.
I hate
Hey,
it.
I love country music. I'm just saying she's from Texas, so I called it.
Well, yes, I
hate
am. Now that we have a firm grasp of the obvious.
Well,
Do
no,
you
our
really
viewers
like
have a
country
firm
music,
grasp of
Blackwind?
the obvious.
The thing is, like, I feel like country music is like one song. If you understand what I mean.
That's not true.
I know it's not true.
No.
But like,
That's not true.
Of course not
If
true.
you listen, like, I listen to a lot of different country music too. Like, I was just giving Blackwind shit because she's been quiet this whole time,
like
and I thought it would be funny.
because I don't listen to country music at all. So like to me, it's like it's all very similar, but I'm pretty sure it's not if you like really listen to it like properly. Kind of like how people think like
No,
rap music is
it's
all.
definitely not.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. I mean, sure, you're gonna find your artists singing about their whiskey and their trucks, but no, it's not. I'm a really big fan of ballady songs. So there's a lot of really good country music in that aspects. But I grew up in the Northwest. I live in the Northwest still. So like my music influence kind of started with alternative music. That was my big influence growing up. Foo Fighters. I hate Nirvana with a passion. I will leave if you play Nirvana music. I really enjoy Death Cab for Cutie. I really enjoy Modest Mouse.
Meows.
Yeah, I like, like I said, alternative music was my big influence. But then I never I never lost my feeling for it or anything. But my biggest passion in music definitely has to be Blink-182. was by far my favorite band growing up. And when they split up, I followed all three of the artists, Tom DeLonge, Travis Barker, and Mark Hoppus. When, Tom DeLonge and Travis Barker did Boxcar Racer, I loved that album, the one album they did. Then Mark Hoppus and Travis Barker formed Plus 44. They made a really great album. And then Tom DeLonge created Angels and Airwaves, which is arguably tied with my favorite band, with Blink-182. I Empire is still one of the greatest albums, in my opinion, ever of all time. I love it. It's so cinematic. It's so sweeping. But I really love anything that they do. So when they got back together and released an album and got back on tour, I finally went and got to go see them in concert. It was one of the most amazing concert experiences I've ever had in my life. Travis Barker was lifted on a drum kit, like off stage, like I was in the pit, and he was lifted on this like platform, strapped to his seat. The drums are strapped down, and he was like spun on wires, and he was flipping over the pit, and like in all these crazy circles, just doing a drum solo that was absolutely insane. And now their new album that they released without Tom DeLonge is really good too. So I'm reliving my high school days by listening to Jimmy Eat World's new album, Green Day's new album, and Blink-182's new album. It's pretty awesome.
Out of the whole story.
Hey, War. You want to know how I was introduced to Blink-182?
How were you introduced to Blink-182?
Someone played Fuck a Dog during Hubris practice.
What?
That was my introduction to Blink-182.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I was very confused. This was so long ago. I think I was maybe a captain, and just in practice one day, someone started blaring this random ass song over their mic. I didn't believe it was a real song till I looked it up. But yep, that was how I first heard about them.
Have you heard other songs by them?
I have since, yes.
Okay, good.
God, I haven't heard of Blink-182 for a long ass time.
What?
Sure,
I haven't heard Blink-182 songs for a long time.
They're very good. Their new
Burnz
album's really
will,
good.
Back me up on this one, but Burnz, The Midian by Cradle of Filth.
Yeah, Midian is a great album by Cradle of Filth. I'll just quickly get my should be a lot of the way on this. I have very, very eclectic music tastes. War, I'm really glad that you're reliving your childhood. It's unfortunate that the sound of your childhood was cancer on my ears for the entirety of
Right.
your teen years. I really hope that generation of music is forgotten someday and just lost in time. But that's an entire another topic for me. As far as Midian goes, Dregs, yes, that was a fantastic album.
That's definitely one of my top threes. My favorite right now is going to be the new Motionless in White Graveyard Shift.
When people ask me, like...
Integrity?
Yeah, when people ask me what music I listen to, they'll be like, oh yeah, I listen to, like... Do you listen to Ed Sheeran? Or, like, freaking... I don't know what the hell people listen to these days. They're like, no, I listen to hip-hop. And I remember, almost everyone's always like, what, hip-hop? You don't look like... I thought you'd be like, listen to Justin Bieber or something. And I mean, these are the older people, but... Yeah, I usually listen to hip-hop, rap, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Josh Gambino. Started when I was in middle school because of a girl, and then I kind of stuck. Like, I don't talk to her now, but and my brother listens to rap, and one of my close friends in Hong Kong listens to rap, so I've been sticking to rap for a long time. Doesn't mean I'm not open to anything else, but I'm just mostly a rap person.
That surprises me.
Interesting enough, I listen to rap too. Like with the metal world and all of its subgenres that you have like rap rock with like Korn and Linkin Park and whatnot. Like, you get curious and you go check out rap albums. Huge Tech 9 fan.
Yeah, there was like a phase, but the thing is, like, there was a phase like 2 years ago where like everyone started listening to like dubstep and EDM, and all the rappers became poppy, and just it's kind of sad. And then like mumble
Yeah, I
rap came
agree.
too, and you're like, oh, fuck, this is what I got. I mean, okay, I'm not dissing Drake, but like Drake is not Kendrick
I
Lamar
know.
level. But you still listen to it because I'm like, why not? But
Dude, it was funny a couple months ago when Drake like challenged Eminem to like a rap
I remember
battle on
that
Twitter or something, and then he like everybody called him out and just like made him look like a fool, and then he went and played a show in Detroit and had Eminem on stage.
like, he has talent. Drake has talent, but like he's not. He's a great artist. It's just not that level. He's just not that level. And it just baffles me how some people are like, yeah, Drake is one of the best rappers ever. I'm like, and some tweets are like, I will name a better rap artist than Drake. I'll wait. And then like there'll be a huge slew of like rappers underneath, and be like, everyone will be like, yeah, Drake's not that amazing.
Dude, I have a confession to make, and it's really something that I've talked about a little bit, I think, with some of you, so this won't be some news to some of you, but I am having a very hard time dealing with the fact that Harry Styles is, as a solo artist, like, his songs to me sound like the Beatles. They're amazing. And he comes from One Direction after they broke up, and I hate it. I absolutely hate that he comes from this piece of shit band. But man, his songs are good.
I think it's a piece of shit because
Sign of
Oh,
the
you do know the
Times
feeling.
I think it's like a
is
bias thing.
really good.
Well, I think you think it's a piece of shit because all the tweens like it, so it's a little biased. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure they do it just for the money. But now they're separated; they're doing it for the music kind of thing.
Well, dude,
Maybe. I don't know.
you should never go back because his music is good now. Like it's very, very good.
Not too surprised.
And I
Honestly,
don't
my
like
friend likes One Direction, like kind of as her, guilty pleasure band. I'm pretty sure that's a I need to hide in the closet type of band.
Guilty pleasure doesn't quite cut it.
It really doesn't.
That's like a secret you take to the grave.
So when you guys are done talking about music, I got something to talk about, like discuss.
I'm musiced out unless Blackwind has anything country she wants to bring to the table.
I don't just listen to country.
I know she listens to baby metal, right?
Yep.
That was a fun show to go to.
So not just Taylor Swift, huh? I'm kidding.
I don't listen
Hey,
to
she's not
Taylor
country
Swift,
anymore.
She will,
you
I know anymore. I
idiot.
know.
She shook that off.
I was joking. Jeez.
Yeah, like get the program integrity.
Okay. So if you guys are done with the music stuff, I got some stuff to discuss.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but there was this. Take this with a grain of salt, like less than a grain of salt. There's this supposed leaker.
Less than a grain of salt?
Yeah.
Does that mean I should be more distrustful or less
More
distrustful?
distrustful. More distrustful.
So more of a grain of
Yes,
salt.
more. Well, no. Okay, whatever. Just don't trust this as much. Okay. So there was this leaker at Bethesda, and he basically laid out the plans for the E3 for Bethesda. So one of the major announcements is Fallout 4 VR, which isn't too surprising, I guess. But the second one is called something called Starfield. Have you guys ever heard of it?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No.
So basically, apparently they're working on a Skyrim VR as well, but they might not show it because they might not be ready yet. But Starfield, I'm just gonna read it off from the thread. So the game is going to be a sci-fi open world RPG in typical Bethesda first-person fashion. It's going to feature 5 to 10 races. There's still some debate on what should and shouldn't go in, and takes place in the Fallout universe, just so far in the future and far away from Earth that it'll only be mentioned in hints. This is part of an ongoing planned interconnected universe of every Bethesda franchise. They gave hints of this by implying the Brotherhood of Steel, created Nirnroot in Fallout 4. They're getting a little wacky with the lore and using Elder Scrolls time wounds to justify lore inconsistencies. Basically, Fallout is the beginning of the timeline, Starfield is the middle, and Elder Scrolls is the far future. The game will feature space travel and hub worlds as well as RNG worlds. It's meant to test into more sandboxy Minecraft-ish AAA thing, but with Bethesda gameplay and still actual designed worlds / quests and other stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
Burnz.
Sounds sick.
Hold on 1 second. Burnz, does this sound like the beginning of the Oasis?
A little bit. It sounds, yeah. Well, there's this game I've been describing for years. There's this game I've been describing for years that I really want gaming companies to make, but none of them have the testicular fortitude to actually go ahead and do it. It sounds like they're getting, like, this is Bethesda's stab at it. So
okay.
We'll see how they fail.
So basically, this game, I'm going to read it off again. The game has actually been in conceptual stages since around Fallout 3 release. It went into pre-production, officially very low-tier pre-production, after Skyrim's release. And then after Fallout 4's release, it went into full pre-production, and after all the DLC was out, they sped into full development. And, I mean, that's the Starfield side of things. And there's some other stuff about Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, I can read it off for you, Burnz, if you want.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a secret partnership between HBO and Bethesda to work on a Game of Thrones game. It will be the next AAA game after Starfield. And if you're asking about the Elder Scrolls Online, the Elder Scrolls 6 or 7 or 8 is planned to take place on Achever, if that makes any sense to you.
Okay.
Achever, yeah. It's going to be Bethesda's biggest design.
Freaking out.
Yeah. Sorry.
Blackwind's probably freaking out.
It's going to have Bethesda's biggest designed open world yet, and will feature an upgraded and highly advanced version of the settlement system from Fallout 4. So if you don't know what the settlement system in Fallout 4 is, it's basically you make your own little town, I guess. Basically, yeah. Basically, the plot is
Does this have any, like, I mean, obviously this includes ESO in some aspect, right?
I have no clue. I'm just reading off whatever I see, and it sounds crazy.
They're crazy enough to pull it off. I do not doubt.
Sounds crazy enough. It might work.
I mean, they had Elder Scrolls Online, and that's pretty big, right, Blackwind?
Be the SDA.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So
I'm considering getting it.
So it's it's not impossible, I guess, at this in 2017 with the technology we have now. So you can basically build colonies on said continents, supposedly, in like Elder Scrolls 6.
That sounds like a lot like that one failure of a game that just came out for PS4.
You mean like on PC as well? Open No Man's Land?
No Man's
Yeah,
Sky.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that sounds a lot like that.
But at least
I mean,
It wasn't
better.
a complete failure, but
It was a pretty complete
Yeah,
failure.
it was
The company like went bankrupt.
Basically.
Bethesda won't do something like that. They'll
I
succeed
agree.
in what the endeavors they're trying to put out. They're more like Blizzard in that aspect.
I mean, No Man's Sky was
I
an
agree.
indie company, so I mean Bethesda.
Be the
should be
SDA.
interesting.
But again, take this with a grain of salt, a little bit less, because I don't know how legit this is.
A little bit more. We just went over this.
Yeah. So Starfield supposedly.
Take it with a pinch of salt, not a grain.
Okay, so the leaker said the estimated release date here is that Starfield is going to come out this year. But then again, it's. I mean, They did something similar.
That
with Fallout.
sounds way too rushed.
Well, no,
That
not
sounds
really.
early to
I mean,
me, yeah.
Fallout 4 did the same thing, right? Fallout 4, they released.
So?
I mean, it's not that rushed. Like Fallout 4 wasn't rushed. They just kept it really hidden for the whole time. Whereas Starfield, they could be like almost completed and they're ready to release soon enough.
It should be interesting.
I hadn't heard about this. This is interesting to me.
Yeah, because it's not. I mean, it's hard to officially say that this is legit.
It looks pretty legit. I'm looking it up right now. So
It's called Starfield.
Yep.
I have to look that up.
I'll probably paste the link on the Discord chat. But yeah,
Cool.
that's why I got to the table, and it's. I guess I'm open to it. Like it's not impossible.
It's Bethesda, so
Yeah.
they've always gone crazy with shit. They went crazy with Fallout 4. They went crazy with Doom. They've been on fire lately, so we'll see.
Yeah, I guess so. And that's my discussion piece.
On a very, very minor note, while somebody decides if they want to bring up their topic next, I believe the Golden State Warriors just took Game 3 in Cleveland. So, yeah, that just happened. LeBron facing elimination at home. That's going to be interesting.
What sport is this?
This is basketball.
Basketball.
The finals.
Oh, I was gonna guess
and I'm
football. Good thing I asked.
Yeah, yes, good thing you asked. Football runs from August through February. So yeah, we're not in the football season. But yeah, this is the basketball championship, and the Golden State Warriors are slaughtering as predicted. I predicted that they win in 4 or 5, and they've won the first 3, so it looks like I'm right on track to make some moolah. And if it goes more than 5 games, the NBA is rigged. Because, I mean, there's just no way that they stand a chance. They're a super team. But anyway, this isn't a sports podcast. That was my sports statement.
Okay.
I bet you're gonna be really glued to your TV when you're watching Seattle play Oakland, if that ever happens.
They play each other almost every preseason. Marshawn's watched that.
You're just waiting for, if they do play, watching a fat Seahawks defender just sideswipe them.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to watch. You remember last year when the Seahawks fucking ended Tony Romo's season before it started, and then he retired? Yeah, you have the Seahawks to thank for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Dallas. You're welcome.
Anyways, since this isn't a sports,
Anyways, I have shrimp chips.
what, Blackwind?
I have shrimp chips.
Blackwind has shrimp chips.
Yes,
I don't know what that
they're
is.
very yummy.
Wait, you mean like the?
I'm
God, I'm gonna explain it. I think you know. I think I know what you mean.
You probably do.
The Asian snack, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
baked chips that taste like shrimp.
Yeah.
Of course shrimp trips are a snack. What did you think it was, a pet?
Did you think it was a pet? I know what it was.
No! You're the one questioning what it is.
I'm just making sure I know what she's talking about.
Or you're
It's
talking
shrimp
to a guy.
chips. Seems pretty self-explanatory, like potato chips.
You're
Yeah,
talking
and
to a
he's the
guy
one-
who gets his games from China.
Yeah. He spent 1.5 years with Box and Halo.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Integrity. We love you. Anyways, do we want to talk about comics?
It's up to you.
MC, the Marvel and DC universes.
God,
So who's been reading what?
God, I haven't been reading for a
I
long
don't really
time.
read comics.
I used to. Until they killed off Damien.
I've been following a very interesting arc recently called The Button.
Oh yeah, let's
And
talk about this. This I do know about.
anybody who is really curious about what's going on in DC Comics right now should go immediately find a way to read The Button and read all 4 installations or so that there are, I think, or so. This is where they start redefining DC Rebirth, like I think at its core here, and this is where we start seeing DC slowly integrate the Watchmen universe into itself. So it's I'm not gonna give away any spoilers, but anybody who's really excited or enjoys like Batman, The Flash, Reverse Flash, things like that, maybe go check this out. And then if you haven't seen The Watchmen, or if you're not sure what they are, check those out maybe too. But it's really interesting on where they're taking this and the whole reboot of their universe. It's amazing.
How is this different from the New 52 though?
I don't perfectly know. Exactly. This is the New 52 was like a reboot of. This is where they like completely. New 52 is where they completely reboot like all of their storylines, and that didn't work. So this is like a reboot of their reboot. I think this is like a course correction. I feel like
Nice.
more or less. And then this pulls the universe back together. This is giving them a chance to re-explore all of their original cast and stuff and do like more stuff with it, I believe.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of New 52 stuff. Like, it was all like, pretty bad.
So,
I'm glad they're doing something.
I'm intrigued because the last time I picked up a comic book is because of the New 52, and I just wanted to get into Batman. Just try to get into Batman. I read like the Batman and Robin series. I read some detective, like Batman as a detective series, and some other series.
The Detective Series
Yeah.
comics.
But I got really into, like, I learned the Court of Owls. I learned about them. I learned about Joker's face getting cut off, and I learned about Damien, right?
Right.
But the issue was that
Yes.
I got really into Damien's arc, right? Like the whole relationship between them two. But then suddenly, Batman just goes like nuts, and like apparently Damien dies. So I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I guess the writers killed him off. So
Pretty sure they bring him back.
Yeah, Damien exists like in Injustice 2. Damien is Robin.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
He's alive, and he's alive in a lot of different iterations of Batman still to date, and they're also doing, spoilers alert, if you listen to Gotham, if you watch Gotham, plug your ears. They're doing the Court of Owls arc in Gotham, and it's really good. Yeah, this new season's really good.
Yeah. So basically, after they killed off Robin / Damien, I'm just like, yeah, this series. I read the series because of the whole relationship, and like that's it. And now, I mean, if they're gonna reboot again, I wouldn't mind checking it out.
So I took off my headset for that because I haven't finished the last episode or whatever, so I'm back now. But
I haven't either, Burnz. I just talked about them introducing the Court of Owls. That's it.
He's ruined it again.
Okay, yeah.
I know
I've
Burnz
seen
is
that.
there.
I've seen
I know
that
he's
stuff.
there. I know he's there.
The Court of Owls is a really great storyline, but it's going to lead into a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
It would blow my mind someday if they tried to cover like The Button and stuff like that on the television show. That would be amazing for me.
I don't think they will. Gotham
it's too
is
much.
like, if Gotham was more connected to the DCU, I wouldn't surprise me, but Gotham is very much so its own
Universe.
its own story. You know, yeah, it's not connected to the DCU.
Right.
So it's not going to be one of those shows that mixes with the Flash or Arrow, or at least now it won't. Well, I mean, who knows in the future, but as of now, it's not.
By the way, I lied. I do have one New 52 comic.
Was the Quarter Owls?
But
I believe
Sorry.
Go ahead.
it's the Talon. I actually got it from the artist who actually did artwork for DC, Ken Hunt. It's actually signed by him, so I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's New 52."
Right on.
Was Court of Owls like new? Is it? Are they relatively new? Like as a villain,
That I don't know.
like were they there before New 52?
I'd have to look at dates and the writers. There's several writers in DC that are just top notch, as well as in Marvel, of course. But some of the writers in DC right now are writing the hell out of some stories over there. Flipping that coin, I don't really have the answer to that. I'd have to look at timelines integrity. But flipping the coin and going over to a Marvel side, the people who are working on the Thor comics right now, and some of the stuff that I've seen go on in Thor recently has been amazing. If people haven't checked it out or anything, they should check out let's see, Gore, the God Butcher, and old King Thor. A lot of those arcs, those are really good. And there's this arc, I don't remember where, I think it was the end of Secret Wars or something like that. Somewhere in there, there's this, it kicks off another one of Marvel's weird like reboots or whatever that they're like doing. But Nick Fury goes up to Thor at one point and whispers something in his ear, and then Thor suddenly can't wield Mjolnir anymore. He can't lift his hammer. He becomes unworthy due to this thing that Nick Fury whispers into his ear, and it takes a long time for you to figure out what it is that he said to him, but because of that chain of events, it led to them having a female Thor, the Jane Foster Thor. And it was really interesting arcs, and a really killer read.
Oh, well, so we know that's not going to be made into a movie because Natalie Portman's a piece of shit. Seriously, I want to like Natalie Portman. I really do. She's cast in a lot of movies that I really want to like. The prequels for Star Wars, Thor, V for Vendetta. But I just can't like any of them. I don't like any of them. The only good movie that she's in, as far as I'm concerned, is Revenge of the Sith. And it's because she dies.
Goddamn war.
I don't like Natalie Portman.
I like V for Vendetta.
I thought V for Vendetta was too stylized, way overhyped, and not the movie it was advertised to be.
Yeah, I had no standards going into that, so I'm like, okay, it was an okay movie, I guess.
It was okay. I have a theatrical poster for it. It's pretty cool.
5th of November. All I remember. But not to break away from comics, but a little bit more on Marvel. I recently purchased Logan, which I'm sure we've all seen, and rewatched it again yesterday. Man, that movie holds up. It is such a good movie. I experienced the same. I mean, in theaters, I'll be honest, I cried. There were several parts of that movie where I cried the first time I saw that. That obviously didn't happen, but The action scenes, everything that goes down in that movie was just, it holds up. It's one of those movies I think that you can watch over and over again and just not get tired of it. It was the best $20 I've spent on a Blu-ray in quite some time, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Such a good movie. So many memorable scenes.
Yeah, Professor X just makes it great.
You see, it wasn't necessary. There's a scene. Obviously, the scene in the woods after the farm with Professor X, where Logan says his bit and he can't even finish speaking. He just chokes up and walks away and just gets in that fit of rage. That part brought me to tears the first time. There's just something really real about it. It was just really raw. Such a good movie, and I love that they didn't, Deadpool came out and it was a great success, right? But Deadpool was kind of like rated R for being the sake of rated R, because that's how Deadpool is. And for them, if they did something like that in the Logan movie, it wouldn't have held up. Like, they dealt with a very adult storyline. They dealt with the brutality of Logan's violence realistically, not over the top in any way, shape, or form. Which I think was what made the movie great. They embraced the fact that going into it was going to be rated R, but that didn't mean that they were necessarily severing limbs left and right. They did it very. They just did such a good job on that movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too. Like Deadpool, obviously, with how the character Deadpool is, it's of course the movies are gonna be rated R. But the fact that it was so embracing with Logan, like it was a good rated R movie where it felt mature. Where Deadpool, obviously, him being Deadpool was, he's a much more immature character, but it was nice. It was a nice change of pace.
And I really want to see more stuff done with, X-23. I liked her a lot. So maybe that'll happen. Who knows?
I mean, she should totally be the new Wolverine. Like in any of the movies. Like, get her, please. So fucking badass.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not gonna replace Hugh Jackman.
That's the point. Don't bring in his weird daughter. That'd be so fucking cool.
I concur.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that would be the best course of action. I'm just not ready for Hugh Jackman to be replaced.
Is there another planned X-Men movie on the horizon?
I think so. I don't remember what it's called. Not off the top of my head, anyway.
I think it's continuing along the same storyline as
Apocalypse?
Yeah.
A lot of those contracts have expired. I mean, a lot of them were only... I know Jennifer Lawrence is not reprising her role as Mystique. She's done. I don't know about Magneto and Professor X, James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. But I do know Jennifer Lawrence is done.
Who's the actor who played Professor X again?
James McAvoy, Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah. Patrick Stewart's not gonna he's not gonna be Professor X again. So they're probably gonna...
Yes, but James McAvoy might be the younger one.
Yeah, so I'm saying like they're probably gonna just stick with like the younger version of them.
Yeah. Just interesting how those movies evolved.
Very.
What's up?
This is it for the comics?
I guess, unless everybody else has something to add. Burnz, Blackwind, do you have anything to bring to the table?
Nope.
I mean, not particularly, other than the fact that I can't seem to find tapioca pearls locally.
What?
Okay, I spent a couple hours today looking all over town for some bogged damn tapioca pearls so I can make bubble tea. No place fucking had them, so I had to order some off of Amazon. They'll be here in like a week and a half. I'm not happy. I want my fucking tea.
Happy oak.
Making homemade bubble
Does anyone
tea?
here know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know what you're
There
talking
it is.
about. I'm just like,
Can't you go get like tapioca pudding and like put it through like a filter or
No,
something?
it doesn't
Like,
work that way.
I don't think that's how that works for.
well, dude, are you sure? I mean, like, well, if you put peanuts into a coffee grinder, would it become peanut butter?